Amidst the cacophony of a busy city street, Jake fearlessly navigates the chaotic traffic on his bicycle. Each honking horn and hurried step fuels his relentless journey. His seasoned skill turns the urban maze into a stage for his daring ballet. Inside the courier van, Jake is bathed in sunlight as he sorts through a mountain of packages. He pulls out a package labeled 9B with practiced ease. His curiosity piqued. Driven by idle curiosity, he tears open the corner of the package, his casual disregard evident. Inside the courier van, Jake stares at the surveillance photos, disbelief etched across his face. The photos reveal Jake from every angle, every day, every location. Paranoia begins to creep into Jake's eyes. Jake stands across from the apartment building, his gaze fixed on the windows above. He pulls out a photo, his hands trembling slightly as he compares it to the building. Jake is visibly shaken, the reality of the situation sinking in. Inside his cramped apartment, Jake is surrounded by a web of photos and strings, a testament to his relentless pursuit of answers. His eyes dart from one image to another, seeking a pattern in the chaos that consumes him. Lost in his obsession, Jake seems oblivious to the world outside his self-imposed prison. Bathed in the laptop's glow, Jake hunches over, his face a mask of anxiety as surveillance articles fill the screen. He pauses mid-type, his senses on high alert as a floorboard creaks nearby. His fingers tremble as he resumes typing, each distant siren amplifying his terror. Under the cloak of night, Jake, shrouded in darkness, moves with purpose toward the looming apartment building. He slips inside, his resolve hardening with each step toward the unknown. A quest begins to unmask the watcher. In the dead of night, Jake picks the lock on apartment 9B. The apartment is dark, silent, and still. Jake cautiously steps inside. In the sparsely furnished apartment, Jake activates a flashlight, cutting through the darkness. A strange chemical odor fills the air, catching Jake's attention. Jake's flashlight pierces the darkness, illuminating a chaotic web of notes, photos, and maps. A large countdown timer looms ominously on a whiteboard, a stark reminder of time slipping away. Jake stares at the countdown timer. His heart pounds with a sense of impending doom. Jake hears a noise outside the door and freezes, flashlight beam dancing nervously across the room. The flashlight beam disappears as Jake plunges the room into sudden darkness. Jake melts into the shadows behind a bookshelf, a silent observer in his own apartment. The door explodes inward as police officers storm apartment 9B, weapons raised and ready. The officers storm in, shouting, "Police! Freeze! Terrorists in the building!" Weapons raised. Police officers methodically sweep through apartment 9B. Jake cowers behind a bookshelf, desperately seeking refuge in the shadows. Mistaking him for the terrorist, the officers fix their eyes on Jake, their expressions turning cold. Jake struggles to convince the police that he is merely a courier, ignorant of the impending countdown. His pleas fall on deaf ears, met with skepticism and cold indifference. Chaos erupts as the police violently tackle Jake to the ground. Metallic clicks punctuate the air as handcuffs secure Jake's wrists, binding him. Terror grips Jake as he thrashes against his restraints, his eyes wide with confusion. Jake is forcefully escorted out of apartment 9B by police officers. His eyes dart to a countdown timer, each second a stark reminder of impending doom. A chilling realization dawns on Jake. He was a mere pawn. Under the stark glare of flashing lights, Jake emerges from the apartment building, his hands bound by cold steel. A sea of faces watches as Jake is escorted into the night, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and fear. Jake sits alone in the sterile interrogation room. Two detectives watch, their expressions conveying doubt. Jake attempts to explain his story. In the stark interrogation room, unspoken tension fills the air as Detective Johnson and Detective Miller prepare to confront their suspect. Detective Johnson leans forward, his expression hardening as he reveals, "We received an anonymous tip," Detective Miller adds with a stern voice, "about a terrorist plot staged from within this building." Detective Johnson's accusatory gaze intensifies as he delivers the final blow. "Apartment 9B, that's you." In the stark interrogation room, Jake leans forward, desperation etched across his face, his voice tight with conviction. Jake insists, "I swear, I'm innocent. I was just trying to figure out who was stalking me." He holds up the surveillance photos, a tangible plea for understanding. "These are the surveillance photos I took." Detectives gather in the dim interrogation room, scrutinizing the crime scene photos scattered across the table. Subtle shifts cross their faces, a silent acknowledgement that Jake's narrative might align with reality. Inside apartment 9B, police investigators methodically search the area. A hidden compartment is revealed behind the whiteboard. Within apartment 9B, a hidden compartment conceals a sophisticated surveillance system. The system's insidious reach extends to multiple apartments within the building. Inside apartment 9B, investigators sift through the aftermath, seeking answers in the subtle traces left behind. Compelling evidence surfaces, revealing a link between the surveillance and a rival corporation's treacherous scheme. The rival corporation's sinister plot to sabotage a crucial business deal darkens the room. The detectives, faces lined with regret. Release Jake. They offer a sincere apology for the misunderstanding. Mr. Jake, we deeply apologize for the inconvenience. It seems you were caught in the middle of a corporate espionage plot. Jake returns to his apartment, his face etched with a mix of shock and relief. He begins to dismantle the web of surveillance photos that had consumed his life. He removes the last photo, hoping to erase the haunting memories. Jake stares intently at his phone, an unknown number looming on the screen. Doubt and apprehension etch across Jake's face as he chews his lip, a bead of sweat trickling down his temple. Hesitation hangs heavy as Jake's finger hovers over the answer button. With a mix of dread and resolve, he presses the button. Jake stares at the phone, his face frozen in disbelief. The silence from the other end is deafening. A distorted voice echoes, "You know too much, Jake." Jake's paranoia resurfaces as he stares fixedly at the phone. He understands he remains in danger. Under the harsh glow of streetlights, Jake moves forward, his elongated shadow a stark reminder of his isolation. A nervous tick reveals Jake's growing unease as he glances back, haunted by the feeling of unseen eyes. The city's symphony of sounds intensifies, each footstep echoing like an ominous prelude to danger. Amidst the city's hustle, Jake notices a familiar figure. Another courier appears, mirroring Jake's uniform. Jake walks toward the other courier, his footsteps filled with anticipation. The courier's gaze remains icy and detached. The courier pulls out a gun, the metallic glint catching the dim streetlight. "Sorry, Jake," he says. "Nothing personal." Amidst the chaos of the city street, Jake is running, bullets whizzing past him. Hunted and alone, Jake's every step is a desperate attempt to escape unseen pursuers. Trust is a luxury he can no longer afford. Jake is running for his life, with no allies in sight. Jake seeks refuge in the warehouse shadows, each breath a painful reminder of his desperate plight. Moonlight reveals the dust-filled air as a silent witness to his suffering. He clutches his side, his face a canvas of exhaustion and pain. In the decaying warehouse, Jake clutches his phone, his face etched with worry. He frantically dials, the urgency palpable as he speaks into the phone. "Sarah, it's me. You won't believe what's going on." His voice rises with desperation as he pleads. "I need your help. You'll explain everything, just listen." Sarah listens, her eyes widening as Jake speaks. Disbelief washes over Sarah as she processes the details. "Determination has her features," Sarah states firmly. "I promise to help you, Jake." Sarah sits intently at her computer, tracking Jake's mysterious phone call. The trace leads her to a secure server in a distant foreign country. In the oppressive darkness of the warehouse, Sarah clutches her phone, her voice barely audible against the warehouse's lonely sounds. Sarah whispers into the phone, "Jake, it's me. I've got the information you need." Her voice lowers with urgency as she reveals, "And there's something else. This isn't just corporate espionage. There's another company involved. A rival." In the desolate warehouse, Jake stands alone, engulfed by towering crates and long, ominous shadows. A chilling revelation grips Jake. "They're trying to silence me. It's the only explanation." His voice trembles with a mix of fear and resolve. They're protecting their secrets. Under the cover of daylight, Jake stealthily approaches the ominous headquarters, his every step measured and cautious. Sarah watches, her eyes scanning, as Jake continues to sneak into the rival corporation's headquarters. The imposing structure looms before them, a silent fortress guarding secrets within. In the sterile confines of the security room, Jake and Sarah work in perfect synchrony, their fingers dancing across the keyboard. With practiced ease, they neutralize the omnipresent surveillance, bathing the monitors in a sea of static. The digital gates of the corporation yield to their expertise as lines of code cascade down the screen. A digital door swings open, beckoning them into the labyrinth of corporate secrets. Inside the server room, Jake and Sarah face a wall of humming servers. Wires snake across the floor, a maze of metallic vines. This server is the key to the corporate espionage plot. Figures huddle in the server room, their faces bathed in the eerie glow of digital screens. Data streams surge, progress bars filling with relentless speed. The air crackles with anticipation as the final preparations unfold. Jake strides into the CEO's office, his expression resolute. Jake slams a thick file onto the mahogany desk, the sound echoing in the room. Mr. Thompson looks up, his surprise masked by an air of composure. Arthur Reed sits imposingly behind his mahogany desk, the tension palpable in the air. Jake stands resolute, a USB drive clutched firmly in his hand. The city street becomes a scene of urgent action as sirens wail, signaling the imminent arrival of law enforcement. Officers swiftly close in, their tactical gear a stark warning as they move to apprehend the CEO and his accomplices. The CEO and his accomplices stand surrounded, their fate sealed with the sharp, echoing click of handcuffs. In the softly lit apartment, Jake and Sarah lift their glasses high, reflecting shared triumph. Empty pizza boxes and scattered documents bear witness to their victory. The weeks of tension dissolve into palpable relief and shared accomplishment. Jake clinks his glass against Sarah's, a genuine smile lighting his face. Jake resumes his courier duties, forever changed by recent events. He scans his surroundings with a heightened sense of vigilance, now acutely aware of hidden threats. A spark of cautious optimism flickers in Jake's eyes as he gazes toward the heavens, steeling himself to confront injustice.